Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm on a little bit later. It's almost 10 o'clock here, and I'm not sure if it's going to snow or not. It's kind of outside. Wee bit chilly. There's a little bit chilliness in the air. To all my people in Manitoba who got snow, God bless. Hopefully everybody's nice and warm there. Grabbing a hot cup of cocoa. Hot cup of cocoa. Um, yeah. So welcome. For those who are watching the replay, thank you. And for those who are just joining me, or you just someone shared my video out to you, and you have like, who is this woman? My name is Mary June Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer. Come to you with a little bit of shenanigans of the highway, and also any downloads that I received. Last Friday was really kind of a clarifying time of information that I was receiving and trying to figure it all out. And it was weird that how confirmation comes to you out of the blue. Weird confirmations happen, and then you're just like, whoa, okay, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. And so when I receive stuff, I sort of like hold it and I mull it over for a little bit and try and figure it out. Some of it's very clear with information, or I get some really crazy dreams, and others is like, whoa, okay, this is um where I just want to hightail it to the mountains and hide. Today, just in general, like, just today, it's like, for the energies, it's in touch with God, your soul. So this is a relationship. This is about your relationship with the divine. It's about your relationship with God and your connection. And this is part of what I'm going to be talking about today. So grab a coffee, grab a tea. Got a few things I want to unfold for you. Some of it may sound wacky and crazy, and you may not align with it, or you might think, okay, mama just went off the deep end. Won't be the first time. We have a sun that's trining Neptune. Now, Neptune brings in illusions. I always call him the drug lord. He makes you feel sometimes confusing, and sometimes it's like things are just like almost ready to pop. So information, something's coming in, it's ready to pop. And it's also about your integrity and your alignment with your spirituality. We have there is this sensitivity that's coming in, and the illusion to all this sensitivity. And there's a lot of water. So there's a lot of emotion that's coming in. And this is all about your fluidity and this and how solid, because water is always opposite earth, air is always opposite to fire, because they work together. Water and earth bring in fertility. They bring in the things to grow and planting and along that line. Now, where Venus is, she's way below the equator. Like, she's way the fuck out of bounds. She's just enjoying herself. She's having a great time. She's in Capricorn. She likes Capricorn because Capricorn gives her a solid foundation, looking at longevity. One of the reasons why I'm doing Manifesting with the Angels this Saturday. It is before she goes into her shadow phase. Why is that important? Well, I got a few things to unfold here for you why it's important. One of the things is it's important not only because it's Venus, and Venus is a beautiful energy to manifest with, and bringing in Archangel Raziel is another beautiful energy. And Archangel Raziel is aligned to Leo. He's aligned to the heart. Now, there's okay, he being aligned to the heart and being aligned to that energy, he is there to bring not only truth, but bring in your identity, your individuality, to bring in your uniqueness. And he is, Leo is opposite Aquarius. Now, as I said, usually fire and air get along, but sometimes fire and air don't get along. Sometimes it's just too much air, too much fire, or too much water and too much earth, and it can be really mucky and muddy, or it can be a forest fire. or uncontrollable energy. Now, with this energy of the heart, there's been a lot of focus what we have been seeing within people getting the elixir and things to do with the heart. And I was kind of like, when Archangel Raziel, I was feeling more of his presence coming to me. I was like, okay, what is going on there? It has to do with fixed signs, bringing in astrology, and I'm thinking, okay, Scorpio's going to reveal a lot more. Yes, I know. So we had that Scorpio, and then it's opposite Taurus, and Taurus is about foundation, about your currency, about money and how that works. And we have Uranus in there, and Uranus is all about electricity and another form of currency, which goes with Aquarius, and he's squaring off in the squares to Saturn. But where does this energy end up? Where does this energy, you know, release? And that is in Leo, and that is within the heart. So there's energy that's being released, and the releasement comes in through the heart. To align with the divine, you align with your heart, you don't align with your head. Okay, you don't align with, and I said your head, I didn't say your upper shot, your crown chakra. I said your head. You don't align with God in an ego type of way. That's not how you align with God or any of the divine orders. You align it with your heart. You always go through your heart, because your heart is your first consciousness. What is the best way to destroy someone? It's through the heart. What is the best way to dismantle? Is through the heart. So here we have a lot of heart issues coming out, that now people, because of this illusion and the spell that we've been under, think it's normal. It's just normal. It's just normal. So the truth will feel like a lie. And this is where it's like, oh, the economy, this is just happening, don't worry. I mean, the other day Biden was blaming the people for consuming too much. That's why there's inflation. What the fuck? No, 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 that's not how it works. But coming out with this frivolous information, to get you to, oh yeah, 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 I guess that makes sense, but break it down, it really doesn't make sense. That's not how the economy works. That's not how inflation works. And so we have these weird things coming out, this weird information coming out. And this is where we are looking at where, Venus being out of bounds, and she's with Spica, which is very encouraging. So there's this encouragement of energy to seek your truth, to seek your values, to seek what is within you and your alignment with God, that divine order. This is about looking at that and encouraging you. And this is also about your relationship with the mundane world, with your money, with people. What is your relationship? So it's looking at that. And Juno comes into, and she's in the last degrees before she goes into Capricorn. So this is coming in with your vision. What is your vision for your long term? What is that you see for you and your alignment and coming into your truth? With the moon, is in Pisces too. This is really heightening up our psychic emotions. Psychic, and our intuition is being ignited. It's like these little lights are all going on. So we're all having these little lights all lighting up on us. And this is our coming in with our, what is our movement? There's that song, and there's that dance, and there's vision, and our dreams and imagination. So we have this beautiful energy that's coming in to really pump us up, to really get us going into that of what we know is true. Now, remember, I'm saying what is true, what is your truth, because the nodes of faith, because there's this little, as the moon comes into Pisces, he's aspecting not only, the Sagittarius, but the truth. Are you going to the North Node, expanding your truth and your knowledge? Are you expanding that? And this is where this energy, is also coming in, and it's saying, what that is. And Mars and Mercury are, they're at the same sort of like declination on where they are. So that's where they're parallel in Scorpio. this is coming in where things are getting tossed around, right? Mars is, Mercury's coming in, he's tossing shit around, tossing information around, whether he's going to take it, bringing in, information that maybe you don't want or you don't, align with. And that's why I say, please be open to what some of the things I'm going to be saying, like even about the heart issue and with Leo. And that's why I feel Archangel Raziel has come through, because he's aligned. He's one of the angels for Leo, because it's the alignment of the secrets of God, aligning yourself with the universal energies and coming in with the universal energies. And this is looking into peaceful, easy feeling. And this is where people are talking. There's a lot of talk still, like, that's going on, that we're not being privy to, or we don't have it as yet, or it hasn't come to the front. Now, some of the things that I've predicted or said have come to fruition in some way, and or it's been exposed. And I feel like there's a lot that's coming in, and it's like this matrix, and being taken out of the matrix that we're in, put into this COVID matrix. And a lot of people are identifying themselves with this COVID matrix and wanting to stay within this COVID matrix. And we're finding that a few things that have come up, and it has to do with Dante's Inferno, which is going way back. If anybody knows about Dante, I'm not going to go into the Dante Inferno, but I will reference it to being the different seven stages of I think 7 stages of coming out of the Dante Inferno into enlightenment. But those are the stages of purgatory, right? And really, it's like lots of things you've said have come true. So with this is where, and I'm going to bring in a little bit about Travis Scott too, and how that kind of correlates with everything too. So, okay, thank you. So this is where I found where, even yesterday, and I was talking about immortality and the energies of immortality, and people are wanting immortality. And then the other thing about claustrophobic and being claustrophobic, feeling closed in, feeling overwhelmed with things. And then, people outdoors at a concert feeling claustrophobic, getting closed in, can't move, can't, their arms are up and then they can't put their arms down, they can't move in different, ways. Found that, extremely interesting because of what I was receiving last week and even before then. And I thought, okay, I'm starting to really see what's being unveiled, see what's going on. And it was one of the things that I thought was interesting, and I don't know who I was talking to, but all of these deadlines, why are these deadlines so important? What is so important about these deadlines? December 15th, November 30th, all of these deadlines, what are they trying to do? And I kept on receiving, it's an experiment. It's an experiment. Do you not see the experiment happening? And I was like, whoa, okay. This is the biggest experiment ever done to humanity. This experiment, like, how many people are willing to concede to what is being forced upon you? Let's get the data. Let's see how fast they do it. Let's see what it is when we get a bunch of these people together. Now, the WHO just came out with information and saying it doesn't matter if you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, you can still get COVID. Doesn't matter. Getting vaccinated is not a security, does not give you anything. Now it's just going to get you that now you have to get a booster. And Health Canada, I think, has anywhere between 7 to 9 boosters already aligned. 7 to 9 boosters. That doesn't include the one if you are double vaxxed right now, that you are going to be asked to take in some way. Now, when I go back to this experiment, This is where I feel like there's something there, this science experiment. They're wanting to see who's participating, who's not participating, who's in this and who's not in this. And I know, you know what? I know I'll lose people here because there's a lot of people who watch me who are vaccinated and they're like, well, that's just, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. Everything went well with me. And I'm just like, okay, wait, because I'm not even done here. This is where it's calling mingling together to see what happens. Just think of it. Just for a moment. Just think. Why give people who are vaccinated, oh, you can travel. You can go to concerts. You can go here and you can go there. You're not vaccinated, you can't. So we're going to separate you, and now we're going to examine to see what happens. What's going on? How many people are jumping the gun and saying, I got to travel, I got to get out of here, I got to do this. When you're in an alignment with the divine, it's not easy. There's a time, and I'll bring up the Bible. I'm not biblical or anything like that, but the time when Jesus goes into the garden and he's pissed. He's pissed. He's mad. Like, Dad, why the fuck am I? Why is this all happening to me? Why am I having to go through all this shit? Yeah, he's mad. He's angry. He's having a human moment. He's frustrated. But they're always saying that there's greater glory. You align, right? There's a greater glory. But it's not easy. St. Francis of Assisi went around, talked to people, gave up. Like, he came from one of the wealthiest families in Italy, took off all of his clothes, took off all of his wealth, and walked into the church. It's not easy. You're going up against what all of people are saying, everybody else is saying. It's not easy because you're coming in to stand up for the truth and the righteousness. Because it's easy. It's easy to just say, oh, fuck it. Let me just go. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go do this. I need to save my practice. I need to save this. Fuck it. You know what? It's not easy. It is not easy. And this is where that experiment comes in. Because if I can get you into a controlled area, and I want to see what's happening. Now, I mentioned way, way back about a supercomputer, and the supercomputer is owned by Google. It's one of the most, it can take all of this data and spit it out on what's going on within 2 seconds. And look at all that data and look at all the information that's coming out. This is where we are finding that the unvaxxed should be fearful of the vaxxed. And because they're not doing anything different. And now they're finding, and they're even stating that, where they're still spewing out, they're all filled because it's all unvaccinated. Truth is coming out and saying, nah, that's not really true. So they're finding this information that's coming out. The other part where you might have heard, and you can look this up and look at it, is that in the RNA vaccination, there's a spike protein. Now, where does this spike protein come from? What is it a derivative of? And you got to think about it. Got to go way back to a time in the 80s when there was a certain virus pandemic that started to come out. And this pandemic had to do with spike proteins that happen within the body. And you would get extremely sick. People who ended up with this HIV, AIDS, ended up getting, fevers, chills, all this type. And then they went in when they got tested. They had HIV. It was through the testing of this spike protein. And the spike protein lays dormant in your system for some time. But then you're going to see people getting sick. And I've already said that. People are going to start getting sick. And they're going to be starting to test for this spike protein. And in testing with this spike protein, they're going to find people with autoimmune disorder. They might change the name from HIV to something else, which I think they will, so they don't get called out for something. But there's an HIV A or B or 1 and 2. So this is where the test spike protein comes in, and it lays dormant. Now, nobody's going out there testing themselves for AIDS because, hey, I've been with the same person for 30 some years. Why am I going to go test for AIDS? Yet, I might be getting ahead of myself. There's a certain monkey man who got $4 billion for making antivirals. Why are they making antivirals? And right now, Israel's the greatest test site, and same with Australia. Wonderful Petri dish. Let's keep you all on the same island and see what happens. So the next big bomb that I think for next week, like there's going to be information, emails, things revealed. There's even been emails revealed within Fauci and other people of that was going around, that this is a pharmaceutical scheme. And this, and I mean, I know this sounds crazy. You might not like what I'm saying, but that's fine, whatever. And why? Why? Because an autoimmune disorder is money. You have an autoimmune disorder. You have this. I can give you a regular life, but you got to take these medications for the rest of your life in order to survive. Now, go back to the 80s when AIDS was discovered, and the experiments that they did were horrendous. The things that they did in Africa and the things they did to people, just to see what would happen. They infected people on purpose. And then it just, things fizzled out. It just wasn't working. They got, we got to do things more undercover. Now with the energies that are coming in with Gaia, is that this is an awakening. This is like revealing. Now, when I said things go into Scorpio and Venus went in there, things start getting dredged up. Things start rising to the top. And Pluto in Capricorn, we've never lived. Pluto in Capricorn at the very last degrees is dredging shit up against governments, institutions, corporations. And Venus is going to retrograde on top of Pluto on December 19th. And then there's going to be a Saturn squaring Uranus exact on December 24th. This is bringing in information. Pfizer just came out, and we were talking about this, with the exact formula of ivermectin. Ivermectin's cheap. But Pfizer just is coming up with an antiviral medication identical to ivermectin. I'm not making this shit up. Like, after I find out this information, I'm just like, okay, where can I find the resources? And then I hear someone talking about it, and then they bring in information, and you go down a fucking rabbit hole. But this is where, when we are looking at this and the energies that are coming in, on March 30th of 2020, Mars and Saturn conjuncted. Okay. So Mars, Saturn conjunction. Mars is moving on. It didn't retrograde until September. And then it went forward on January 6th, 2021. And as Mars was going around, then Mars, as he squared, the first square began in January of 2021. That first squaring to Saturn. That's coming up. I got to reveal the truth. I need to go forward with this. I need to have the information. Then we had Mars opposing in Leo, opposing Saturn. That was during the summer. Opposition, Leo. What's going on? People feeling free. Let's get out there. Let's move. Let's mingle. We got to get going. Now we're coming into a Mars 3/4 square, the last closing square before Mars meets up with Saturn in Aquarius. which will be in next year. This is energy. This is showing you that there's a separation, there's an experiment that's going on. It's a psychological experiment too, and how far they can push people, how far they can push you with the propaganda until you believe whatever they're telling you is the absolute truth and you're staying into the matrix of the COVID. And that's purgatory. Because that's giving you all what you want, all of this mundane world, the lust, the love. It's giving you all, okay, I can have this, I can have this, I can have this. I can live my life the way it was. I don't have to worry about anything else. All the while, they're gathering all of this data to see how far and what they can and cannot do, including shortages, including shutting off pipelines, even though that there's billions of dollars, billions of reserves of oil in the United States and Canada. We have it. We really don't have to send out anything to get refined. We can do it. We have the technology. But this is where it's like pushing the human and testing the government. It's kind of like a poli-sci experiment with the human spirit and testing the governments, the constitution, the parliament, the traveling, and understanding that data. Does the republic really work? How far can we push the republic till it's broken? Weird, fucked up shit. And this is where I feel this supercomputer, this data, the biggest computer AI system, they're allowing it to run because it can manipulate things. People have said, I've thought of something and it showed up on my phone. I've done this type of experiment. I play games sometimes. So when I'm playing games, I'm just like, oh, this is a fucking stupid game. I'm not going to play with it anymore because I'm not winning. And then I win. Interesting. I've done that a few times. So this is where you're finding, and it's observational. It's observational, even with the red states and the blue states in the United States, on how COVID is and how things are spiking. And also Bill Gates just came out with stuff. He hasn't hidden away, but he came out. He came out talking about that there are still going to be pandemics coming up because of the smallpox. And there's going to be smallpox pandemics, and we need to do more research on that. I'm just like, fuck, I can't make this shit up. I'm watching the universe and the astrology unfold right before me, and then watching people fall in to the spell and continue following into the spell. And I'm thinking, well, they still need the unvaxxed, right? And they're not going to do fuck all with Bill Gates, because Bill Gates has the name in the dirt on everybody because he was with what's his face. You don't think he got information? Oh. Of course he got information. But this is where the next thing is like, it's like, you know what? Instead, okay, here's the next thing. Instead of getting this injection, why don't we just implant something and then it's just there for you? And all I need to do is that you can get an app, and all you need to do is press the app on your phone, and it'll inject, it'll let go of whatever needs to be put into your immune system. They have a birth control like that. That they have a birth control now that is run by an app where you can turn it on or turn it off. Crazy fucking shit. Scary as hell. Because it's not easy staying in the light. It's not easy being and wanting to stay in where you are. Steve and I are tested all the time with this shit. We are tested so much with the outside world. And as my husband's great, it's not my issue. I'm going to do my thing, that's exactly what he does, and it's where we're at an age too, like we don't have any savings, we don't have any anything like that, we don't own our own home. I always, it was just never fell into our alignment or securities. And even, with his job right now, he's crazy things are happening with his job where they have to find him another spot because they lost a bid, but that's fine. I mean, this is where standing in your power and your alignment of your truth. And even for me, standing in my alignment of my truth with my divine. And sometimes it's not easy because I see my numbers dwindle because people like, okay, I'm not going to say anything to her, but she's crazy, or we're not going to book in with her, she's crazy. Even with people that I've done readings with, and it's it's like they're in a box or in this crazy energy form, and I'm just like, wow, okay, I'll just pull out the cards and the cards will tell me what needs to be said, because there's something there or whatever, and they're fully vaccinated or they've boosted up, and that's changing their molecular system. Rudolf Stein, and I put that out on my Facebook, where he talked about a vaccine that's over 100 plus years ago. Like, he talked about this vaccine, but this vaccine, where it does, and it takes away the soul, it dehumanizes you. So then you just become the drone. You just become, you just do what you're told, basically, because you want to live in your serial world. You want to live in this automated world. And as crazy as, with Facebook becoming the metaverse, yeah, we want you lost in here so you're not thinking, or you're not paying attention to anything else here, and we can control you over here. We can make this beautiful world for you so that it is dehumanizing people. And in dehumanizing people, that means that you are not thinking, you are not experiencing, you are not going out. It's like with the G20 summit and the environment. They have all of these scientific ideas on how to make things better, but they're not, they want to take away carbon emissions in that. But what about the toxicity that they're putting into the world with that? Like, yes, it's great to have wind power, but those propellers that they have to changes currencies, changes vibration. And what do they do with them? How do they, because they can't be broken down. It's not like Dutch windmills. They're made of wood. You can recycle them, you could redo them in some way. Not the same thing. And a total escape. Total escape. This is the energies that are coming forth, and the changes in the vibration that are coming in. Also, with solar panels are great, and I really love the idea, but there's no proper recycling for solar panels and the cost of replacing them. And I'm always worried about the batteries. Where are the batteries going? How do they recycle the batteries? So we do have ways of creating. There's thermal. There's ways of creating, power and resources. Water is great. Water's a natural resources. I always see a mill, like a mill, to create power for as a resource for people, and empowering energy up, and doing that. Not a dam, but I just see it as just a simple mill of, and then it powers up the electricity and stuff. But in Yellowstone National Park, a few years ago, gray wolves were not in that Yellowstone National Park, and they started to bring the wolves back into the park. They are now finding now the ecosystem has balanced out. That means the little bunnies aren't burrowing into the sides and destroying the hillsides and the clay and stuff, falling down. Uh, Deer and population and elk population is sort of, it's balancing out. I don't know if they have elk, but anyways, the deers, it's balancing out. The bunnies are balancing out, and that's because they, nature did its thing, allowing nature to come in and work. Then things balance out. But when man interferes with fucking shit, they fuck it up every single time. That's what they're doing with all of this. And when I started looking at it as this experiment and the separation of people and these dates, and I'm just like, that just, why the dates? Why the dates? And I kept on getting experiment, experiment, experiment. And I was like, what the fuck? That makes so much sense. What better? And and that's what I kept on seeing. It's groups of people. Well, you're all vaccinated. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now, with the whole thing with Travis Scott, that mouth was very similar to that. If you've ever seen a picture, or Dante's picture of the head, and it's really disgusting, because it talks about the different layers of purgatory, and what people are desiring and wanting and going for. And the music that was played before there wasn't even music; it was different sound vibrations, which were very low, very low. And it really, when you get into a very demonic energies, it brings in the lowness. And I've seen a lot of people are going towards the Satanist church and going towards this, and I'm just like, nah, that's demonic. I mean, you might be the nicest person in the world, but that's fucking demonic. That's lowering your vibration. You're not upping your vibration. And that's the other part too, because there's a lot that's coming in with that. Um, with energies, and thinking that it's okay to be doing that. And I'm just like, oh, well, to each his own. God bless you. I'll send you out with love and light. But this is where we are beginning to look at, okay, staying in the light, staying in the new frequencies that are coming in, the higher frequencies. Yeah, they're there. It is a daily thing. It's a daily coming into your prayers, coming into the positive mantras, coming into the meditations, getting into the connections with nature, interacting with others and allowing yourself to interact with others, bringing in that positive vibration keeps you in that light. But it's a daily thing of coming into those frequencies. And even for me, because yeah, there's a lot of stress that has been put on us, and a lot of things that are coming up. And I live with I live with a Sun square Saturn. That's in my chart. A Sun square Saturn in Scorpio and Aquarius isn't easy. That's what everybody's going to be experiencing. And experiencing this, as we are, especially in going into we're in eclipse phases where things are really starting to get hidden, because eclipses hide, right? You don't see anything. This is a partial eclipse, it's not a full one. It's the first one in Taurus, and then we'll have the solar one in Sagittarius. These are the changes that are coming forward. And we have full moons all at 27 degrees coming up for the next five months. So 27 is this is about change, transformation. This is about stepping into the newness of energies that we have never stepped into. And same with 27 degrees, Pluto hitting 27 degrees. Venus retrograding at 27. This is a numbers have meanings. There's a lot of crazy, even with Travis Scott's birthday. He is a Taurus. He is at those the later degrees, I believe, of Taurus. He's his sun is going to be his sun is Uranus is hitting his sun. He's coming underneath those squares, so he's going to be going through a lot of changes and difficulties. He had a chance to make a change before he got involved with the Kardashians, and whether he stays within his own identity, but he chose not to. There's something about, even with the Kardashians, when you get involved with them, Things get weird, like really fucking weird. Um, and how they, with their associations and everything else. As I said to people, some will come out looking great. Oh, they're look at what they're doing. They're helping all these people. She's becoming a lawyer. She's helping people. Okay. To me, there's always a front. There's always an ulterior motive. There's always something else there. They're not transparent and true. And why are the girls having babies so young? Just, like there's something there about having the baby so young. There's, and sacrifices that have been made. And, there's, symbolism to even where Bruce Jenner, who's now a woman, I can't remember her name, but he was born November 5th, 1955. He's going to be 66. And part of this concert that Travis Scott did was to him, to her, to it, whatever. So there's crazy shit coming out. And even that of that concert was an experiment to see how far we can push people with the vibration, how far we can do. I mean, in war, they use music as torture, using different music as a form of torture to people, so that they listen to what they want you to listen to, or what they want you to say, or what have you. But music is used as a torture, but music can also use as a cleansing and a clearing and a beautiful vibration of change and transformation. So with anything, you can bring in the lower vibrations very easily, or you can raise it up to the very highest. But what I feel that happened there was also an experiment. When I saw the upside down cross and I saw, the different people trampling, and I was just like, okay, saw the head and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like you're entering the bowels of hell. You're going through the mouth of Satan into the bowels of hell. And even with his shirt and showing demons coming out of his shirt, whether he is, the thing is that to understand people in the industry, they're not, they pump them up with drugs, they pump them up with whatever they want. I watched years ago this thing about Elvis Presley and how many concerts they would have him do. Like they traveled all over the country, and to keep him, they were giving him amphetamines and keeping him up and keeping him going, and blah 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 blah. And same with, because this is a commodity. This is a money maker. We want to make money off you. You do all of this sensationalism, you're going to make X amount of money. Come into my lure and I'm going to give you money. Sell your soul to me and let me fuck you in the ass and I will make you big. That's what they do. There's other things that are going and that are coming up and that are being revealed. And they're pretty disgusting and gross. But anybody who's worked in the movie industry or in the music industry, it's not a nice place. It looks all great and it looks all wonderful. But when I start seeing stars go from one size to another size, I'm like, like I never really, what's her face? She's having a thing with Oprah. I never really liked her too much. And now that she's lost all her weight, I'm so good with people's names. I'm just like, oh, there's something. Yeah, she was taken in. She was taken in. Do this. This is what you do, and we will make sure that you have everlasting life as long as you drink this blood. You drink this blood with us. You cut this with us. You will do well. I think Oprah did the same thing. I think Ellen DeGeneres did the same thing. Some of them ended up, getting to a point. Okay, you're getting too out of hand. We're gonna. You can't have this anymore. So you gotta listen to what we have to say. Why do so many presidents get Alzheimer's? It's, this is, part of control, part of that computer system, the AI system. And all these billionaires are usually all tech guys. When you're a tech person, you're not going in with the divine. You're not going into that alignment. So the big experiment is here. It's happening. This is part of your shattered reality. As I said, things are going to be shattering, things are going to be coming in. And it's staying in your light, staying in your truth, in your alignment. Truth will feel like, sometimes you'll get there, and this is where the confusing part, because of Neptune coming in. Truth will feel like, the truth will feel like a lie because you've been inundated with so much bullshit. So that can't be true. What Mama's saying can't be true. I'm just going to continue my mask because it's going to make that other person feel good. You're bad. You're bad because you don't wear a mask. You don't wear a mask. You can't have this. You don't do this. You can't have this. How many parents out there said, okay, when you get home, you be really good, you're going to get a treat. Okay. Usually didn't work on me because I usually got in trouble in some way. You behave in church, you sit there, and it never worked on me. I usually got a spanking at the end of church, or got pulled to the back of the church because I asked too many questions as a kid. Why are they wearing that? What's going on? Why is he doing that? Why do we all have to line up like that? Anyways, why aren't there any women on? Why can't a woman do this? How come she can't bless the, bless it? That pissed my dad off. Why can't a woman be up there on the altar and be a priest and bless the water and the wine? And when does it turn into the water and the wine? Is it when he lifts up? Why can't I watch it? And then I'd be like, my father would get so frustrated with me. And he'd just listen to what I have to say. Strong headed Leo up against the Scorpio child. And my mother just like she's a Capricorn, like and I don't have her birth chart, but she's born December 21st, so she is considered a Capricorn because of the winter solstice. But she, does have her stringent ways on how she does things, and orderly ways on things, how they should be done. So I mean, and then you get this lovely little Scorpio kid with a Cancer moon, like, oh well, why this? Too many questions. So don't ask the questions. You might be afraid of the answer. But today, get into your alignment. Feel what it's going to feel like. The manifesting with the angels tomorrow, I'm hoping, will give you some substance to help to guide you through the coming seasons and get you to really start thinking of your long term. What's long term for you? What's how can Archangel Raziel? Because when we work with Archangel Raziel, we go into this beautiful cave, because it's always, well, I always get taken into a cave. So we go into a cave, and then he takes us out to meet whoever we need to meet, and he helps to anchor that energy into who we want to meet. So if there is a specific angel you want to work with, he helps to energize that power even more. He's been used in many different ways in helping angels.
Well, we're making slime and we gotta let it sit, so let nobody touch it.
Okay, he's making slime. Nobody touch it, okay? So Raylene, I'll put your name down right now because I'm writing it down. So Raylene, yes. So, and it is recorded. So if you miss it, you will receive the recording of it also. So yeah, this is our alignment. It's crazy, it's fucked up, but this is what you signed up for. And I know many of you, all of you, are beautiful light workers. And sometimes being those light workers is fucking hard, and it's not easy. And I know sometimes, for me, having a glass of wine in the evening or two, um, it really helps to calm all the information that comes in. Um, Others have other, ways of doing it. Sometimes it's smoking. Sometimes, we have these vices, but we got to remember that we are human on this walk. We are human in this world. And so there are different, I'm not a pure enlightened being like Gandhi, but even he had his vices and he did his fucking shit. I can't, so I'm not Mother Teresa, far be it, I'm far from being Mother Teresa, or Jesus, far from being him too. But this is, allowing myself to see each day and stand in my truth. And one thing I've been blessed with is that I do have my own company. I did make this. I was pushed into it. And the reason why I say I was pushed into doing this was something that many times I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be a psychic medium. I didn't want to be an astrologer. I fought being an astrologer for the longest time. And that was because I didn't want to be judged. I don't want to be doing this thing, because I knew every time I did it, shit would happen and I would see shit. And sometimes I don't want to see the fucking shit. I don't want to see that. I would rather be the bloody fucking drone sometimes and shoot me up with the vaccine, and I'll go work at Shoppers Drug Mart and do the job. Because that's easy. That's easy. Really, it is. It's easy. It's easy to follow suit. I was looking at markets to do markets, and I'm like, I am not fucking doing a COVID test before I go into a fucking market to buy crafts. I'm not signing up into a market and that I have to get shot up. I'm not doing that. I will boycott. And I'm just like, you guys who are doing it, and I'm going to call you out, who's ever doing the fucking markets and having to get vaccinated or are vaccinated, you're in a fucking experiment. You are in the experiment. They are experimenting. They are watching. You don't think they're watching. Everything that goes on, it is being documented right down to the minor details. One of the reasons why they told me not to do markets. And even with the last market I did, and they were wanting me to keep the mask on the full time. No fucking way. I didn't keep the mask on. No, I can't. I can't. I can't concede to other people's fucking bullshit and be part of the experiment. I want to be at the top of the fucking ladder. I want to be able to go there. That's where I want to go. But I got to do the work every day, and I got to do the showing up. And that's part of what I do every day, is show the fuck up. And sometimes it's very hard for people to do that, especially in the spiritual community, to show up every fucking day and do what they need to do. I get it. I do. I totally get it. I have even in my chart, it even states, do not use alcohol. Do not go and do drugs. Because I do have, with that Neptune energy can come in very easy. He's in my Scorpio. Neptune in Scorpio? Not a fun part. You want to go to different parts of crazy land, you can go there. But it also heightens my psychic ability and my connection. And that's the other part. So when this stuff starts coming in and I'm getting downloads, that's one of the reasons I canceled last Friday, because of the downloads I was getting. And I was just like, what? Massive censorship? Understanding the data? And I kept on seeing the computer too. What is this computer? Well, it's the largest computer. It's the AI computer that controls a lot. Is it controlling everything? Maybe. Maybe because there's more that is unseen. And the other part too is that you got to look at all the crazy shit that's coming out on Netflix, Squid Games, all of that. Why is that coming up? Why are they being seen? It's showing you shit. Anytime you watch any of those things, and I mean, I love The Rock, but I know he's part of the fucking shit. I'm not delusional, but he's still The Rock, and he can still take off, a big gate and have muscles. I still want a hug from him. But I mean, still, this is the whole thing. This is the craziness of it all. And it's standing in that alignment and standing in your truth. When I see, so many people are so proud of wearing masks, or even with some of the ceremonies yesterday, and they wouldn't allow unvaccinated veterans. Okay, a guy went into war unvaccinated, into crazy scenarios, and you're worried that he's going to carry COVID to you in an outdoor setting? Fuck you. I think that's another thing too, that is just like, This is how people are indoctrinated. This is how people are getting, caught up. Why do some places have hotspot areas? Think about it. Think about who the people are in those areas and what they consider those areas to be. Why were reserves having hotspots of COVID? I don't know. Some form of experimentation? Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. These are things, it's just like, and they make me think. I'm just like, well, why is that here? Why are the red states doing a herd, and why not the blue states? Why are they doing this? Why is there such segregation and separation? And then you get crazy fucked up shit. Like, why would somebody, a part of the BLM, come out and say, we're going to riot if he, with this, trial that's going on in the States with this young boy who's 17 who defended himself. I honestly believe that's a fucking setup. I did from the very beginning when I saw it. When they try to change narratives of things and bring out, and they've proven some of these guys are lying, some of the newscasters are lying. Why is Project Veritas thing, he gets raided and then the next day all his shit is on the New York Times? Where did they get that information? Why don't they want that diary out there? Because Biden is a fucking pedophile. Doing shit like that to his daughter. Like, just, that just makes me want to throw up. But these are the things that are coming in your face, and you don't want to see it. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to be a part of it, because I just want to stay in my little home, stay here. This is great. I'm fine. I don't need to know any of that. But yes, you do, because in knowing it, you can change it by blessing it and doing the Ho'oponopono. By knowing it, you can send out the positive vibrations. If you don't know it, you can't send it out. So you send out those positive vibrations, and sometimes you do it 1,001 times a day. And that brings in the change and changes the vibration. Why do they want to push back so much? It's because you keep sending out the fucking positive vibrations, and they're like, we don't want anything of love and light. Of course not. It's exposure. Why do you think the boogeyman goes hiding once the light goes on when mommy and daddy come in the room? Doesn't want to be exposed to the light. Doesn't want to be exposed to the light. So the devil can go fucking home. That's where he can go. And he can stop messing with this world. But unfortunately, there's free will. And the devil fell down to earth because he wanted to give you that free will. But what is the cost of some of this that you are actually taking? Is it true free will, or is it indoctrination and control? Because, we all want, I want, you want, but this is like, okay, I want to stand in my light and open myself to something really fabulous and go get into my spirit of what it is that I truly desire. What does that feel like? What does that taste like? What does that look like? It's coming into that depth of this is my true spirit. And I feel sorry for a lot of the spiritualists that went out and lined up and really believed that they're doing right by getting the shot. To me, they're more part of the fucking problem than anything, because they didn't stand in their light and they didn't stand in their truth. Can't tell me any different. And I've gone around in many times I've gone around in markets and I've been like, that they're a bullshitter. Oh, that's darkness. And people are like, oh, how do you know? I know. I just know. And I trust my knowingness. You got to trust your knowingness, because you have it too. And sometimes you feel it and you know it and you're like, no, this is fucking bad. I've said to people, why the fuck are you here? Why are you doing this? And they have excuses. I get it. I have excuses too. I have a lot. I have gone and I've done some really fucked up shit to make sure things happen for me. But I paid the price for those fucking shit when I went down the dark roads. I don't want to go down those dark roads again. As Dr. Wayne Dyer, excuses be gone. I'm not going down that road. I know what's down that road. I ain't fucking going down there. I'm going over here. I'm going to my light. This is where my focus. This is where my love is. This is where my angels are. This is where my divine is. My God, my goddess. This is where I'm going. No judgment on you, because I know that's the road you have to take. That's what you have to learn in this lifetime. And when, you know what, when it's done and over and you transition, then you find out the truth and the light of what's going on. Being a medium, you see that truth and light. Sometimes it's really dark and gross. Other times it's beautiful. But it's accepting and understanding. Not everything is hunky dory and beautiful. It's pretty fucking gnarly out there right now. But there is such light that's coming in that we got to step into it before Venus hits her shadow, and then things get really gnarly. So sending you off with such beautiful love and light today. Really, I know this was a heavy one. There's more transitions and information that's coming in, and it's pretty heavy. There's a lot there, but Ho'oponopono, everything that you do, send in your love and light to whatever you are doing. Know that there are good days and bad days. Embrace the bad days, because you know that there's some good light coming in with this all. So blessings to you all. Raylene, definitely just let me know if you're sending an e-transfer or whatever, let me know. And anyone else who wants to come in with Manifesting with Angels, please, the door is open. Have a blessed one, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.